It's the Wiltfong Whip Around with Steve Wiltfong. Today is Thursday, May 23rd. I am your host, Josh Newberg. Very excited to be here. It is a holiday weekend, but there's some big visits taking place. We're going to break it all down in this video. But first, guys, make sure you are subscribed to the best recruiting channel in all of the land. Also, get the Wiltfong Whip Around on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. All right. Let's get into it. We got a big weekend in Knoxville. It is a holiday weekend, but like I said, recruiting never stops. Tennessee's 865 live event is attracting a bunch of the Vols' top targets. Got Steve Wiltfong here, and we're going to go behind the scenes of this volunteer big visit weekend. Steve, 865 weekend, we know it'll be big, but you just confirmed and reported just moments ago a huge name that's going to be in Knoxville. Tell us about it.
Yeah, the On3 Industries #1 ranked offensive tackle, 5-star plus, David Sanders Jr. out of Charlotte, Providence Day, will be back in Knoxville for a third time this calendar year. Tennessee is one of the programs that we have trending up in this recruitment. He has a top 6 of Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State, South Carolina, and Tennessee. But we think the Vols are closer to the top of that list. He's also slated to come back for his official visit the weekend of June 14th. This is going to be an opportunity for him to get around the staff in a laid-back atmosphere and also get around a lot of Tennessee's verbal commits. The Vols come into the weekend with the nation's number 14 recruiting class right now. That includes 5-star quarterback George McIntyre, and him and David Sanders have already hit it off. But it'll be a fun time, a great atmosphere, and then he'll be back for his official visit as he continues to work his way through the process. Tennessee is certainly one of the programs to watch for David Sanders.
Yeah, really exciting visit this weekend. I saw George McIntyre taking to Twitter yesterday, kind of putting the eyeball emojis out with the David Sanders rumors coming to campus. I kind of feel like if this was a basketball game and we're heading into halftime, because David Sanders' recruitment is the official visits that take place this summer is going to be like a whole nother recruiting season for him. So if we were heading into halftime of a basketball game, am I crazy to feel like Tennessee might be maybe emerging as the favorite?
I would not be surprised if he ended up wearing the checkered orange on the next level. You know, a couple things to keep an eye on. He's taking his official visit to Clemson the weekend of May 31st, and we've talked about it before. Clemson's the childhood dream school. It's a program that his family and Clemson, they have a lot of like-minded values. So Clemson is certainly one. Get them hiring Matt Luke gives them the pedigree at the position to point to and say, hey, we have a guy that can develop you to the caliber of player you want to be, someone that has taken 5 stars in the past and put them in the first round. So Clemson checking a lot of boxes. But if he does not commit to Clemson during that visit, certainly you have Tennessee getting that visit again on June 14th. Georgia just had him on campus this past weekend. They have a lot going for him in the recruitment. And then Ohio State is another program that's kind of been rising like a rocket in this recruitment as well. He's taken 2 visits there this year. They get the last official visit June 21st. So, but Tennessee, they would be one of the higher odd programs of landing David Sanders right now.
Yeah, I kind of got Tennessee and Ohio State heading into the summer 1A, 1B in that recruitment, but still a long way to go, like you said, and there are some teams that are heavily involved. All right, what other important visits will be taking place in Knoxville this weekend?
Well, I think one of the biggest names coming into Knoxville this weekend, one of the Vols' top targets regardless of position, Laganza Shady Hayward from Lyons, Georgia, Toombs County High. One of my first On3 RPM forecasts when I joined this great network was in favor of Tennessee for Hayward. I made that pick on April 1. Still feel great about it as we head into the summer. Talking to him, you know, he said, I think my future is going to be bright and orange. So he's already envisioning himself playing inside Neyland Stadium, playing for Coach Heupel, Coach Banks, and Coach Martinez and company. He says the coaching staff treats him like family. He's going to be flanked by a lot of his family this weekend on this Tennessee visit. So the Vols, the favorite for one of their most coveted targets, top 100 player, Laganza Hayward. Chattanooga Baylor School running back Shakai Mills-Knight, who is quickly becoming one of the most coveted players in the country at the position, a 210-pound ready-made SEC style running back. Tells me he'll be on campus. And talking to him this morning, he said they're building something special up there at Tennessee. They got great resources for after college, and his high school's got great connections with that program. So he also talked about the in-state thing being big, so I know he's excited to be up at Tennessee this weekend. And then another name that Tennessee's trying to make a big move for this weekend is in-state offensive lineman Nick Moore. They were the latest program to offer the on 300 two-way lineman out of Danbridge, Jefferson County. And this is a guy that has really risen up the board at Tennessee. They think he would be a great fit for them inside Neyland Stadium. And Josh, you know what else is a great fit? Roback. I was recently introduced to Roback, and I couldn't be more excited. When I say impressed by the quality and comfort, I mean it. I literally can't take this stuff off since trying it on. For starters, Roback polos are my favorite polos. They not only have fun designs for every occasion and season, but they fit perfectly and easily transition throughout the day. Roback's everyday shorts are the perfect pairing as well. They're so comfortable, have an elastic waistband, and great fabric that is made to stretch. Finally, the Roback hoodie is by far my favorite piece of clothing that I own. It is so comfortable. I wear this to start my day, end my day, and everything in between. It's easy to be active or just relax. This hoodie will fit everything I do throughout the day. They've also released a ton of new products. Between their brand new Tailwind tees and bathing suits, Roback is ready for the warm weather. Roback has proudly been leading the NIL charge, having signed partnerships with college stars like Jalen Milroe at Alabama, among many others. They're becoming the go-to brand for college athletes. And I can save you on your next Roback purchase. Use the code STEVE for a generous 20% off for all new customers through the end of this week. That's spelled Roback, RHOBACK.com. That's 20% off all performance polos, shorts, and more with the code STEVE. Another big name that confirmed that they'll be at Tennessee this weekend is On3 Industry 5-star receiver Jamie French. And and there could be others. Like we said, Eric Winters is a guy that could be there. Don't be surprised if there's some other committed guys on campus. But Jamie French, this is a recruitment where sometimes it seems like the school that had the latest visit is the one trending. And now the Vols are going to get that one this weekend. He's a former Alabama commit. We've liked Ohio State in this recruitment. Now there's a ton of buzz around Texas. Major confidence in Austin that they're going to land Jamie French. They're going to land DeCorian Moore. They could get Khalil Lockett. And there's other receivers on the board. Tennessee's now getting an opportunity to get Jamie French to campus, and they got a great offense to boast and things. So we'll see if they make a move. Miami's in there as well. So this is a recruitment that can be very fluid. LSU, I think there's some confidence. They're getting an official visit May 31st weekend that they could maybe move into pole position. So Jamie French's recruitment is one of the more exciting ones to follow and keep an eye on as he continues through his process.
Now, that is a great fit. All right, Steve, 865 Live event this weekend. What does Tennessee really try to accomplish here? And also, will we see some of those in-state commitments like a George McIntyre or Darius Jackson? Will they also be on campus kind of helping the Vols staff commit or recruit?
Yeah, absolutely. Many of those Vols recruits will be back on campus. I think they're expecting roughly 20 prospects between commitments and targets, still working to confirm some of those guys that will be there. Ravenwood cornerback Donovan Starr will be there. He is a freak athlete that's got a lot of upside. That's rising the board, expecting 4-star cornerback Onis Conanbanny to be there. Timothy Merritt's another DB that'll be on campus. And there could be some big-time guys, some guys committed elsewhere, some other top targets. Maybe Eric Winters makes it there. Okay. LeVar Arrington Jr., from California expected. So there's a lot of terrific players, guys that have Tennessee offers that'll be on campus for what will be a laid-back, fun environment and a good deal. Tennessee, they always do well landing a lot of these guys that attend 865 Live, and they'll hope to repeat that magic this cycle.
Yeah, a big opportunity for Tennessee recruiting. So, Vol fans, tap in below, comment section. How do you guys feel about this weekend? Who do you want to land? How do we feel about David Sanders? Tennessee fans, tap in. Let me know, comment section below. All right, Steve, let's talk some elite prospect quick hitters to take us into the weekend. Let's start at the top here. Top 3 emerging for DB Dorian Brew. What do you got there?
Yeah, talking to a source close to Dorian Brew earlier this week, he feels like LSU, Texas, and USC are best positioned for Dorian Brew. USC is a program that's kind of been sexy around Dorian Brew after some visits out there. The new defensive coaching staff, Deontin Lynn, defensive coordinator, kind of leading that charge, making things attractive out there at USC. LSU, Corey Raymond, you never sleep on them for a defensive back. And then Texas, they're looking for another top 5 recruiting class. They are going to be one of the hot schools we talk about this summer. They weren't a school that we talked about as much in the spring, but I have a feeling come summer, come official visit season, there is going to be a lot of Texas talk on this program, Inside Scoop in the On3 platform.
It's going to be a hot summer in Texas. All right, Alabama trending for an Ohio State lean. What's going on?
Well, I wouldn't call him an Ohio State lean. There were times where I maybe would have called Justin Hill on 300 edge rusher from Cincinnati Witten Woods and Ohio State lean. And the Buckeyes are certainly still in the middle of that one, but talking to Justin and other people with knowledge of the recruitment over the last couple of weeks, I get the sense that Alabama is well positioned going into his official visits, and Oregon is a major threat to the Crimson Tide. He was just in Eugene this past weekend. Will be back for his official visits to all those places here this summer, but don't just put him in Ohio State's class. The Buckeyes have the number 1 haul in the country right now on 3. Justin Hill would be a major piece to help keep them there, but Oregon's going to push for a second straight top 5 class. That new Alabama coaching staff looking real attractive to Justin Hill as well, and he just loves the vibe in Tuscaloosa, being on campus there. He's talked about that regarding past visits. Now he likes the new coaching staff there. Alabama and Oregon giving Ohio State hell on the trail for Justin Hill. If not, maybe in front of the Buckeyes right now going into these official visits.
All right, another day, another video. So you know we're talking about committed quarterback Keelan Russell, SMU QB commit Keelan Russell. What are you hearing now that Oregon has entered the picture?
Well, just had a great visit to SMU as official, longtime commit to the Mustangs. Was one of 24 official visitors for Rhett Lashley and company this past weekend. It was another great experience. Reminded him why he loves SMU, why he's committed to that program. But the door is still open for some other schools. And college coaches are coming in droves to Duncanville, and they just had their spring game yesterday. But talking to some coaches that have been in Texas, recruiting that school, one source that he's not really in the picture for Keelan Russell, but he said keep an eye on Alabama, and he's got that official visit coming up to Alabama here. He is Alabama's guy right now in the 2025 class at the position. Now, there was a time where I think that they would have taken Julian Lewis if the circumstances were right, the 5-star USC commit from Carrollton. But Alabama has locked in on Keelan Russell. He is QB1 on their board, and it sounds like there's some mutual feelings going into this upcoming official visit. They love what this staff did with Michael Penix and company. Nick Sheridan's leading the charge for Alabama on the trail there. You and I have talked about Ole Miss kind of maybe being the biggest threat to SMU because they offered first. They had them on campus a couple times, including a recent official visit. But I'm starting to really get a sense that Alabama's one to watch. And then Oregon, certainly they're also looking to take another high school signal caller this class. Coach Samples is leading the charge for Oregon there. Will Stein, the offensive coordinator, he has all those Lone Star State connections as well. Coach Samples' dad is Keelan Russell's head football coach there at Duncanville. So Oregon's certainly ingrained at that program. But Alabama's in an interesting spot going into the official visits. He's their top target at the position. I think the Russell family's feeling that going into the official visit. And as Alabama tries to push their way into the top 5 here and have a terrific class, Keelan Russell's the quarterback they want under center, and they have a chance to land him.
All right, now we got 5-star cornerback Naeem Offord taking some visits. Is this something Ohio State fans should be concerned about or just part of the process?
Well, anytime that you have a blue chip commit out of region in SEC country, committed and they're still taking visits, I'm nervous. I don't care how strong, solid any of these young men say. Now, he's looking at Oregon, was just on campus with the Ducks this past weekend. Our colleague Chad Simmons had a post-visit reaction story. And he said, Naeem told Chad, I'm still locked in with Ohio State, but I'm high on Oregon, and they're a priority on my list, and Oregon will get an official visit. And Dan Lanning and the Ducks, when you're talking about a program from head coach recruiter on down, I'm not sure anybody does a better job. And you know who said as much? Marjan Moore. I talked to her yesterday. That's Decoria Moore's mom. She taught the 5-star receiver, number 1 receiver in the country from Duncanville. He's going to take his official visits to Texas, Ohio State, and Oregon. And from just a straight relationship standpoint, from head coach on down, the relationship with Oregon is the best. So they pour into their process and recruit the hell out of these kids. And so you got to be nervous when Oregon's in the picture if you're Ohio State. Chad also mentioned Florida State as a contender. We know Auburn and some of those other programs are going to continue to try and chip away at Naeem Offord as well. Now, Ohio State, they got the recruiting chops to hold them. We saw them hold J.J. Smith last year, but they don't bat 1,000. So we'll see what happens. But Naeem Offord, that's certainly one that we'll continue to monitor as he has the door open for some other programs to make a run.
All right, Steve, let's talk about this Hayes Fawcett tweet. Yesterday, he put out something that got a lot of engagement, and the tweet was, here, I'll put it up on the screen, but it says, fill in the blank. Texas will land blank out of these 3 5-star receivers. Now, the 5-star receivers we're talking about, Decoria Moore, Khalil Lockett, and Jamie French. So, Steve, I want to pose this question to you. Texas will land blank out of these 3 5-star wide receivers.
My prediction is I talked to you today in a very fluid business is I think they'll land 2 of them, Decoria Moore and Jamie French. I think that with Decoria Moore, there's a lot of confidence around Austin when you talk to people around the program with knowledge of the recruitment that he'll ultimately end up at Texas. Now, there are some sources that think that he wants to go out of state, go away, and Ohio State and Oregon are in a good position there. And then there's still some talk that he'll get back to LSU at some point, even though they're not on the official visit docket for this summer. He wants to make his decision before his senior season, win another state championship, and then enroll early at the school of his choice. Texas, I talked to his mom yesterday. She said she bleeds orange and blue. Orange for the Texas Longhorns and blue for the Dallas Cowboys. They love getting around Coach Sarkisian and that coaching staff. Texas does a great job of checking in with them. The offense, they think that program's ready-made to get into the SEC and win the title in the SEC and beyond. So there's total belief in Texas on the field, the opportunities that they present off the field, fabulous relationships with that family, with Corey Moore and everybody. So, look, when he got his first offer from Kansas in 8th grade, she's like, when are we visiting Texas? Now, certainly her eyes were open to other programs. So was Corey Moore's. Their eyes were open to other programs as they went through this process. What's best for me? Where can I maximize my potential? But Texas has all of that in their opinion. They're going to take these official visits. We'll see what happens. I'm not sleeping on Ohio State or Oregon by any stretch. But as of today, I would say that I think they'll land Decoria Moore. Jamie French, I think the intel favors Texas right now. But again, like we talked about earlier in the Tennessee section, this is a recruitment that's been very fluid. So even though we feel great about Texas right now, there was a time where I felt great about Ohio State. There was a time where I felt great about Alabama. So don't count your chickens before they hatch on the Jamie French recruitment, no matter what school you are. But today I have Texas 2 out of 3 landing there. Now, they should definitely land Lockett. When he visited Texas in the spring, one thing that the family pointed to, in addition to just really how Sarkisian's offense schemes wide receivers open for days, the culture. They just love being in that environment with that staff and just felt at home around Texas. So they could go 3 for 3. I don't think Lockett's a guy that's scared of competition at all. A&M seems like they're really rising in the recruitment. He punted on an official visit to USC to make room for Texas A&M. He already visited Texas A&M twice this calendar year, to my knowledge. And the new staff and what Coach Elko's building is attractive. You got Florida State in there as well, and LSU leading off his official visits as LSU tries to put together a special recruiting class. LSU and Texas in on a lot of the same guys. But I got 2 of 3 right now. Doesn't mean they won't go 3 for 3. Doesn't mean they won't go 1 for 3. But 2 for 3 right now. DeCorian Moore, Jamie French, I say yes to. With the right to always reserve to change my mind, Joshua.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these three right here are some big dogs. We'll see what Texas does. I like DeCorian Moore to Texas right now. Khalil Lockett, I think, is going to end up at LSU if I had to put a pick in today. And then Jamie French. Loved where Texas stood about 24 hours ago. Then I hear he's visiting Tennessee, and I'm like, because like you said, Jamie French has been so reactionary to some of these visits. And I kind of thought Tennessee was starting to fade in comparison to Texas, but now they get him back on campus. Same kind of with David Sanders there. They continue to get them on campus, and therefore you can't count them out. Hey, you guys are the recruiting experts. How many of these guys do you think Texas is going to land? And ultimately, where's DeCorian Moore, Khalil Lockett, and Jamie French going to go if it's not Texas? Let me know. Comment section below. All right, Steve, let's preview a big commitment that's going to happen right here on the On3 Recruits channel. This is why you better be subscribed, because we are going to be hosting top 100 DB Mark Zachary. He's the number 10 ranked corner in America. He goes 6 foot 155. He's out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Finalists are, and he's going to commit with us on Saturday afternoon, Michigan, Cincinnati, Notre Dame, and Florida. Steve, how do you read this recruitment heading into this big decision?
My On3 RPM is on Notre Dame going into this announcement as the Irish aim to add one of their most coveted targets to a recruiting class. Ranked number 5 nationally, Mark Zachary's been up to South Bend several times. Has built a great rapport with Marcus Freeman, Mike Mickens, and that coaching staff. He loves Notre Dame's tradition. He loves where they're at as a program. And then most importantly for him, he loves what they do off the field with their student athletes and the potential that he has after college if he gets that Notre Dame degree. Proximity to home is also something that is exciting for Mark Zachary as he goes through his process. So I like the way that this sets up for Notre Dame. This is one of the best two-way players in the country, Josh. He's probably the only player in America that was able to catch a one-on-one ball on our number 1 ranked corner in the 2024 class, Ellis Robinson of IMG. In all the biggest games of the season last year, Mark Zachary showed up as a receiver, showed up as a playmaker in the secondary. He's got a 99-yard fumble return for a touchdown on his film against one of the best programs in Ohio, Cincinnati Moeller. He was fantastic against IMG Academy. Led this team to a state championship in football, led them to a basketball state championship the year before. He has a Butler offer for hoops, and then took his basketball team back to the state championship this year. They lost, but he's played in 3 straight state title games, basketball, football, basketball. So he's a winner. He's a great student. He's still developing physically. His dad played defensive line at Ball State. He is going to fill out. When he is not playing as much basketball, he is going to fill out. And I think that's going to make him a more explosive athlete, but he's got elite ball skills, great length, a tremendous, tenacious competitor, and would be a big pickup for any of these schools. And I think it's going to be Notre Dame as it stands right now.
Yeah. Big week for commitments here at On3 Recruit Channel, because not only Mark Zachary on Saturday, but next Wednesday at the Elite Series here in Nashville, out of Shreveport, Louisiana, James Simon, 4-star running back, will be committing live with us. So we'll see what happens. Now, if Mark Zachary commits to Notre Dame, that would be the first Notre Dame commitment that we've done on the On3 Recruit Channel. We've had a lot of commitments here, Steve. Not only do I produce this show, I host the show, Steve, I actually also make some graphics. So check out our live commit tracker. If you could put me in the one shot here. We got our live commit tracker. This is a graphic that I made. It's perfect. And we can see no Notre Dame just yet. Georgia leading the way with 3. Now, I can update this graphic as we get more commitments, so you guys just stay tuned. But this is the On3 live commit tracker. We'll also see where James Simon ends up, because he could be at one of these teams. So anyway,
I think he could add a school. You might, because we like Texas there going.
Yeah, currently, and we have not had anybody from Texas commit on our show. Now, we've had a Texas A&M. We've had a couple Oregon, but no Texas yet. So we'll see if we can break that streak next week, and no Notre Dame. So that would be awesome for this channel. I'm excited. James Choice,
Tashard Choice, one of the best running backs in college of our childhood. I still remember seeing him run folks over at Georgia Tech. He is the lead recruiter for James Simon for the Longhorns, and he's kind of become a sniper on the trail with some of the running back recruiting wins that he's had. And James Simon's a top target there. Many projected LSU early in this recruitment for James Simon, including myself. That didn't slow down Coach Choice, the Longhorns, getting him on the campus several times. And he was there for the Longhorns spring game. That atmosphere blew him away. What Coach Choice has done with the running backs as of late in the NFL draft, Bijan Robinson, Roschon Johnson in the same draft. Those guys are already impact players in the NFL for both their teams. I think that combination it really speaks to him. And Texas is the heavy favorite to land James Simon going into his announcement at the On3 Elite Series.
Yeah, and the On3 Elite Series, James Simon will be there. He's one of about 50 top recruits attending the event. It'll be May 28th through 30th right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Steve will be with me. We're also bringing in guys like Bryce Underwood, DeCorian Moore, David Sanders, Juju Lewis, I think DJ Pickett, Jamie French, Michael. If we talk about them on this show, they are most likely going to be in Nashville. Now, this is the second year in a row that On3 is putting on this event. The purpose of the event is to educate and inform high school athletes and their families of how to kind of navigate this new NIL era. We'll have speakers, former players, athletes, brands, marketing execs, legal experts, May 28th through 30th here in Nashville. We're also going to bring a ton of content to this channel. So, Steve, take us out of here. What are you looking forward to most about the On3 Elite Series next week here in Nashville?
Well, obviously looking forward to talking to these blue chippers and their families about where things stand with the recruiting process. Jonah Williams, the #1 ranked safety in the country, Texas A&M trending on the On3 RPM, but he was most recently at Oregon. Did that Oregon visit shake things up for him? DJ Pickett, Miami, LSU, Oregon, but is Florida making a move there? And that Julian Lewis, I think, is one of the more exciting storylines going on. USC commit, but he's got Auburn, he's got Colorado and Deion Sanders in the middle of it, Indiana and the Hoosiers trying to make a charge for the elite passer. So there's going to be a lot of recruiting nuggets and storylines. Is Dallas Wilson a flip watch for Oregon to Miami or somebody else? Did Tennessee move the needle with Jamie French this weekend? There's going to be a lot of stories coming out of this event. Look forward to getting down there with you and Chad Simmons and everybody. And I hope everybody's looking forward to having a great holiday weekend. We will not be doing a Wiltfong Whip Around on Memorial Day Monday, but we will be back on Thursday live in studio, wrapping up the On3 Elite Series, forecasting the big recruiting weekend coming up May 31st as college programs start to host official visitors for the summer. We'll have all of that next Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the Wiltfong Whip Around next Thursday.